Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, ahlan wa sahlan, to Madrasah TV show where we bring you Madrasah right in front of your TV screens. I'm a teacher from Medina, Ustaz Hamza. Today I'm here to teach you, inshallah ta'ala, a lot of exciting things. Boys and girls, we are going to start with a little bit of an introduction that is going to be a bit of a story, inshallah ta'ala, of our beloved Prophet Ibrahim and Ismail alayhim salam. Straight after that, inshallah ta'ala, I'll be teaching you some calligraphy. And if you want to learn some calligraphy, you better get a massive canvas with a big paintbrush like Bunny. No, actually all you need is a pencil or a pen, and you can learn calligraphy with me, and you're going to find it very interesting. Boys and girls, straight after that, inshallah ta'ala, I'm going to take you to our segment where I will teach you some common words of Qur'an. You will look at these common words of Qur'an, you can find them repeatedly in Qur'an. So if you understand them, then you will understand a lot of other verses of Qur'an, inshallah ta'ala. Right at the end, boys and girls, I will be teaching you Surah Al-Kahf. As it is Friday, you must learn Surah Al-Kahf. At least you should master the first and the last 10 verses of Surah Al-Kahf. We're going to go to the cave in the last segment and learn Surah Al-Kahf there. In the first segment, let's learn some calligraphy together. And of course, I will tell you the story first. Boys and girls, Ibrahim alayhi salam, he had a son, Ismail alayhi salam. And this son was very, very beloved to Ibrahim alayhi salam. And although Ibrahim alayhi salam wanted to be around his family and do a lot of interesting things and spend time, he was told to leave. And so he went, and he came back. Ismail alayhi salam was grown up. Not only that, he was so happy to see his son after many years. Boys and girls, only to realize that Allah Azza wa Jal wants him to sacrifice his son. He saw that in a dream. And a dream of a prophet is different to a dream of a normal person. And he was in shock. So he said to his son, I saw in a dream that I'm sacrificing you. What would you do? What would you say? He said, do what Allah is asking you to do. And Allah was testing him to see if Ibrahim alayhi salam is willing to give up something that is very beloved to him, something he dears most, if he is willing to give it up for the sake of Allah. And when he passed that test, not by sacrificing his son, Allah has tested him to see if he is willing. If he is willing, Allahu Akbar, the will. If he is willing to do that, and when Allah Azza wa Jalla saw his sincerity, although it was very difficult for him, Allah Azza wa Jalla gave him a task to build Kaaba. Think about this, boys and girls. If you do one good deed, if you go and pray in a masjid, maybe there is a chance that your prayer is accepted, and there is a chance that your prayer might not be accepted. We don't know. Ali radiyallahu an, you know what he said? He said, if I know that one of my prayer are accepted, I would wish that I can just pass away, that I'll meet Allah Azza wa Jal. But he didn't know. He was unsure. So he kept doing more and more good deeds because he didn't know which act Allah will accept. Boys and girls, it might take one good deed for you to enter paradise. Now imagine that. On the other hand, rather than you praying in a masjid with your prayer mat, imagine you go and you build a masjid with thousands of people. Of course, over years and years, there will be millions of people who will come and pray inside the masjid. Imagine the amount of reward. Now imagine Allah ask you, or Allah asked Ibrahim alayhi salam actually, to build a Kaaba. Kaaba that every single person, every Muslim faces when they are, Allahu Akbar, when they are praying. Not only that, millions and millions of people come and they pray facing this Kaaba. Can you imagine the reward? That was all a gift from Allah, ata from Allah, because of the sincerity of Ibrahim alayhi salam. May Allah make us among those who are sincere. Say Ameen. It's very hard to be sincere. You might do something good and you may even do excellent job, but your intention isn't to please Allah. Will you get a reward from Allah then? I hope that our intentions are so pure that when we do something, that Allah Azza wa Jal accepts it and He rewards us for it. May Allah bless you all. Let's go straight to our calligraphy segment, and I'll tell you what are we going to be writing today. It is a verse from Surah Ibrahim. Boys and girls, when I look at Surah Ibrahim, I'm looking at the second last page. I'm going to go to Surah Hijr, go back here. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Verse number 40. رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء. Don't worry, we're going to learn this dua, we're going to learn the translation of the dua, all of that later. First, let's learn how to write this. رب اجعلني. My first letter is Ra. As you see, this is my scale here. I am writing on these 3 lines. Then I'm not going to write on the next 3 lines. So you use 3 lines and then you unuse 3 lines. رب اجعلني. Ra. Ra. رب اجعلني. Here's a Ra. Ra. The twist. Ra. Boys and girls. Rabbi. Ra. And then Ba. Rabbi. Ra. And then Ba. Ba. Rabbi اجعلني. Ra. Next. B. Ra and then Ba. Next word. اجعلني. Let's do it together. Barakallahu feekum. اجعلني. Hamza. Hamza. Jim. Jim. Hamza. Jim. Ain. Lam. Lam. And then Noon and then Ya. Noon. And after Noon we have Ya. اجعلني. ربي اجعلني. Next, muqim. Next word is muqim. Together. Muqim. Starting with mim. 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 Qaf. Ya. And then another mim. مقيم. رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة. الصلاة. The word الصلاة. Hamza. Lam. Sod. Lam. Alif. Ta. الصلاة. رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة. Next. ومن ذريتي. ومن ذريتي. Next line inshallah ta'ala. ومن ذريتي. Wow. Wow. With a small twist. Wa. Next, min. Mim. Noon. Wa min. Next, ذريتي. ذال. را. يا. ta, and then ya. ومن ذريتي ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء. 3 more words, boys and girls, 3 more words. ربنا وتقبل دعاء. ربنا را را. I wonder where Bunny is going. را با نون ألف. ربنا. Next وتقبل واو with the twist تقبل وتقبل ت قاف ب لام وتقبل. Did you guys see where Bunny is? I think he's gone on a short break. Boys and girls, let's take a short break, and when we come back, we will continue. We're going to finish off this calligraphy segment, and then I can teach you, inshallah ta'ala, some common words of Qur'an, a dua, and then, of course, Surah Al-Kahf with Tajweed. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after a short break to continue. Boys and girls, keep your pens with you. We are going to come back to add tashkilat and dots on top of these letters. It's going to be real fun. وَتَقَبَّل دُعَاء, last word after a short break. Stay with us. I'll be seeing you in 2 minutes' time. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back, boys and girls. Surah Ibrahim. There's a beautiful dua in that surah and we are writing it right now together. Inshallah ta'ala, in the next segment we will be learning some common words of Qur'an, and inshallah ta'ala I'll be teaching you a dua, and at the end we will be learning Surah Al-Kahf as it is Friday, boys and girls. Let's go inshallah ta'ala. Continue. رَبَّنَا وَتَقَبَّلْ دُعَاء. So I'm going to write the last word here and then inshallah we go all the way up and we add tashkilat. The word is dua. Dal, Ain, Alif, Hamza. Dua. Barakallahu feekum. And this is verse number 40. Boys and girls, let's go inshallah ta'ala all the way to the top where we started this writing, and let's add tashkilat inshallah ta'ala. Starting with the word Rabbi. Only focus on dots this time. We are going to add a dot underneath ba, of course. Ij'alni, a dot underneath Jim, a dot on top of Noon. Ij'alni. Muqim, 2 dots on top of Qaf, 2 dots underneath Ya. As-salati, 2 dots on Ta. ومن, a dot on top of Noon. ذريتي, a dot on top of Dhal, 2 dots underneath Ya, 2 dots on top of Ta. ذريتي. ربنا, a dot underneath Ba, and a dot on top of Noon. وتقبل, 2 dots on Ta, 2 dots on Qaf, and a dot underneath Ba. Dua. Barakallahu feekum. Boys and girls, we go all the way up here. Rabbi, Ra Fatha, Ba Shadda Rabb, and back is Rabbi. Rabbi, not just Rabbi, it's Rabbi Ja'alni. Rabbi Ja'alni. Hamza to wasl. Jim with the sukoon. Ain Fatha lam sukoon al. Noon kasra ya sukoon ni. Rabbi ja'alni. Boys and girls, what's after that? Muqim, mim dhamma, mu. Qaf kasra ya sukun, qi. And then muqima, muqima. And then as-salati. Hamza to wasl, sad with the shadda, as-salati. Muqim as-salati. ومن, واو فتحة و, ميم كسرة نون سكون, ومن. But we don't say ومن, we say ومن ذريتي. So I'm going to have a quick look in the Quran, and yes, as you can see, this noon here is empty. Why? Because there is a ha, غنة on this noon. So we remove this sukun, ومن ذريتي. ذريتي. Barakallahu feekum. ربنا وتقبل دعائي. So next word, ربنا وتقبل. Let's see if you guys can understand this spelling. If you understand قاعدة, you will be able to understand this. Let's do it together. را فتحة با شدة رب. را فتحة با شدة رب، با فتحة با رب، النون فتحة لسكون نا، ربنا. واو فتحة و، تا فتحة تا، وتا، قاف فتحة قا. Together, وتا. No. قاف فتحة با شدة قاف. وتقب، با فتحة لام سكون بل، وتقبل. Next, دعائي. دال ضمة دو. عين فتح ألف مد دعائي. But if you stop here, then you read it as دعاء. Boys and girls, the word is دعاء. Barakallahu feekum. Now, one word here that is spelled differently is salati. In Quran, they spell it as salati with the waw. Let's have a look inshallah ta'ala. مقيم الصلاة. مقيم الصلاة. مقيم الصلاة. بارك الله فيكم. Okay. بارك الله فيكم. رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعائي. بارك الله فيكم. We will go to the next segment where we are going to learn some common words of Qur'an, boys and girls. I promise you it's going to be a fun segment. Let's go. Boys and girls, here are the 3 common words of Qur'an that we are going to learn. مقيمة, ذريتي, دعائي. These words can be a bit complicated, but I'm going to break them down for you, inshallah ta'ala, one word at a time, and each word we are going to explain it. Muqim. Muqima, establisher. This word is very interesting. Have a look at this. إقام الصلاة. إقامة الصلاة. You know when a mu'adhin call إقامة, what is he calling for? He is calling people to establish prayer. Yaqum. Yaqum, you're sitting down and then you get up. You stand up. Yaqum. Iqama is when the mu'adhin is calling for adhan. Let's go back to this. Muqim, establisher. Also, this word is used for muqim, resident. Someone who is living somewhere. But look at this word, establisher. All these things that I'm mentioning you, there is establishing something here. Establishing prayer, establishing your existence. You're showing up, you're saying I'm here. Or it is that you establish yourself in a specific country and so you are muqim. Look at this example from Qur'an. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. يبشرهم ربهم برحمة منه ورضوان وجنات لهم فيها نعيم مقيم. The Lord gives them good news of His mercy, pleasure, and gardens with everlasting bliss. People when they enter paradise, yeah? This is for the believers. Na'imun muqim, everlasting bliss. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Very interesting. Something everlasting means you establish yourself in that place forever. And so here, Na'imun muqim is the bliss, is all the bliss that is going to be there for you forever in Jannah. So you understand the word muqim. Now this word is used slightly differently in the dua that I'm about to teach you, inshallah ta'ala, but that would be later. Boys and girls, next word we have here is dhurriyati, offspring. Dhurriya. We are all from dhurriyat Adam alayhi salam. We are all from dhurriyat Nuh alayhi salam. We are from the children and the children of Adam alayhi salam. And what happened then? There was a flood. And so the only people that were left on this earth were the people who were with Nuh alayhi salam. So we are all offsprings of Nuh alayhi salam and the people who were with him. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. ذرية من حملنا مع نوح إنه كان عبدا شكورا. O descendants of those we carried with Nuh in the ark, he was indeed a grateful servant. Allahu Akbar. Dhurriya. Dhurriyati means my offsprings. Offsprings. Dhurriya, just offsprings. Okay. Barakallahu feekum. Next, we have du'a'i, my prayer. Du'a, prayer. Du'a huwa al-ibadah. Hadith of the beloved Prophet ﷺ. Du'a is an act of worship. Boys and girls, we look at an example here. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. لا يسأم الإنسان من دعاء الخير وإن مسه الشر فيئوس قنوط. بارك الله فيكم. One never tires of praying for good. And if touches with evil, they become desperate and hopeless. Isn't that such an interesting description of what? Of a human being? That Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying, لا يسأم الإنسان من دعاء الخير. But on the other hand, when something happens, become desperate and hopeless. We're going to come back inshallah ta'ala after a short break and look at this verse very deeply and this word. And then I can teach you a dua, and we also have Surah Al-Kahf segment. Boys and girls, you're watching Madrasah TV show. We're going to be back after a short break for one last segment. Stay with us, come back after a short break, and we will continue. We'll still have a few more segments inshallah ta'ala. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Stay with us. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamualaikum, welcome back, boys and girls. Just before the break, we were learning the word dua, and it means to pray, to worship. To worship is to make dua. When you make dua, you are calling on to Allah Azza wa Jal. And look at this beautiful verse here where Allah Azza wa Jal says, one never tires of praying for good. And that is a human being. We always want good and khair. And if touches with evil, if anything happens to a human, they become desperate and hopeless. Allahu Akbar. And this is why you should be a person who should not be desperate or hopeless, but on the other hand, you are someone who is constantly making dua to Allah Azza wa Jal. And Allah loves it when a person raises their hand and make dua and ask Allah for something. Why wouldn't He do that? If Allah hears your dua and He answers it every single time, how would you make your dua if you knew that Allah Azza wa Jal is certainly going to listen to you and He is going to accept your dua? He does every single time, but not in your way. And just because Allah Azza wa Jal is not accepting a dua in your way, or things are not changing or happening the way you like them to be, that doesn't mean Allah haven't heard you. Boys and girls, we are going to go to the next segment and learn this beautiful dua. This is the dua of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Come with me, you're going to love this segment. Let's go. Have a look at this dua that we wrote in the first segment in a beautiful calligraphy. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Rabbi ja'alni muqim as-salati wa min dhurriyyati rabbana wa taqabbal du'a. My Lord, make me and those believers of my descendants keep up prayer. Allahu Akbar. Rabbi ja'alni muqim as-salati wa min dhurriyyati. O Allah, make me and people who come after me, my kids and their kids, people who establish prayer, who pray for Allah Azza wa Jal. Boys and girls, there's nothing a human being can do greater than worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal. وَمَا خَلَقَتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Barakallahu feekum. Let's have a look at this verse here. إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Barakallahu feekum. Boys and girls, this is the only reason Allah created humans and jinn. To worship. Barakallahu feekum. Boys and girls, to do ibadah is the highest thing a human being, the most noble thing a human being can do. You created for that, only for that. إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Only to worship. Barakallahu feekum. So you ask Allah, and look at how, subhanAllah, sometimes praying 5 times a day, although it takes 7 minutes to pray as-salah al-faridah, it becomes the hardest thing. Why? Well, there are many reasons, but one of them is that Allah haven't blessed you, that you see salah, Allah haven't blessed you enough, that prayer becomes easy for you. You think of it as something so big, so hard, whereas watching something for 2-3 hours becomes easy. Not just easy, you would give up your sleep for it. And you would even forget about it. That's why it's so unimportant. It's so unnecessary. But you watch it with your full attention. You won't want anyone to make noise. But salah for 7 minutes, Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah. So say this dua every time. Rabbi ja'alni muqim as-salah. Oh Allah, make me among those who keep up prayer, who establish prayer. Wa min dhurriyyati, and from my generation. Rabbana wa taqabbal du'a. Oh Allah, accept my prayer. So the prayer, the dua that is made here in this particular verse is that you want to be among the people who establish prayer, and you want your kids to do the same, inshallah ta'ala. Barakallahu feekum. Boys and girls, if Allah bless you and He accept this dua from you, and if you say this dua and you mean it, salah might become something so easy for you that you would want to do more of that every day. You know, when the Prophet ﷺ, when he went to the heavens in Isra al-Mi'raj, Allah Azza wa Jal gifted him 50 prayers, and He said, your people have to pray 50 prayers a day, 50 salah. And then it was cut down to 40, 30, 20, and then 5 prayers. 5. On average, salah will take you 7 minutes. That's 35 minutes from 24 hours, half an hour from 24 hours for Allah Azza wa Jal. In reward, in return, you're getting not just a reward, you're getting Jannah. Because even those 35 minutes, distracted, lazy, not Allah al-Musta'an. So if Allah bless you and prayer becomes easy for you, you would do sunnah, nawafil, tahajjud, qiyam. And subhanallah, I remember one of my teachers, their mother, she would pray 50 a day. When I say 50, it means sunnah, witr, everything else. All together in one day, it'll be 50 raka'at. Allahu Akbar. I've seen people 93 years old praying. 93 years old, still praying. Allahu Akbar. So may Allah make us among those who establish prayer, who find it easy. And so you can go and call other people to prayer as well, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah bless us all. Boys and girls, we go to our final segment where we are going to learn Surah Al-Kahf. In this last segment, inshallah ta'ala, I'll be teaching you Surah Al-Kahf. We are looking at verse number 7, 8, 9, 10, and possibly we can add 1 or 2 verses from the last 10 verses of this surah. With me. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا جعلنا ما على الأرض زينة لها لنبلوهم أيهم أحسن عملا وإنا لجاعلون ما عليها صعيدا جرزا أم حسبت أن أصحاب الكهف والرقيم كانوا من آياتنا عجبا إذ أوى الفتية إلى الكهف فقالوا ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. Barakallahu feekum. Let's have a look at some Tajweed rules. Inna غنة. جعلنا ما على الأرض, not أرضي, أرضي. Ra is a full mouth letter. زينة لها لنبلوهم, not لنبلوهم, but لنبلوهم أيهم أحسن عملا. أحسن. Next, وإنا لجاعلون ما عليها صعيدا, not سعيدا, صعيدا جرزا أم حسبت حسبت أن أصحاب الكهف والرقيم كانوا من آياتنا عجبا. No الرقيم, الرقيم. Last ayah. إذ أوى الفتية إلى الكهف أو whispering letter. فقالوا ربنا آتنا فقالوا full mouth letter. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة a whispering letter. رحمة غنة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا not رشدا. بارك الله فيكم. رشدا. There we go. Full mouth letters highlighted in blue, bouncing letters in red, whispering letters in green, and غنة in yellow. May Allah bless you, boys and girls. Surah Al-Kahf, you must recite it every Friday. You should at least master the first and the last 10 verses of Surah Al-Kahf at least. I'll be teaching you the next 5 verses, inshallah ta'ala, from the end of the surah in the next segment, next Friday. Boys and girls, this is Madrasah TV show, live, Monday to Friday, 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. We'll catch you, inshallah ta'ala, in the next episode of Madrasah TV show. Until then, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.